everyone. Welcome back to another Walk the Talk episode. Today, I'm joined by our queen, we know her as, one of the first female adapters to EXP, the model itself here in South Australia, obviously well known globally. But Bridget, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Chris. It's a pleasure.
So I've been looking forward to this because you were one of the first females that made the leap of faith, right, in our industry, particularly, I mean, obviously based in South Australia. So today I just want to have a little bit of a chat about you, where you've come from, where you're at, and how life is going. Can I just ask, how long have you been with EXP for now?
I've been with EXP now since October 2021.
Okay.
So what does that work out to be? About 6 months?
6 months.
Yeah. December, January, February, March, April.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months coming on 7 months.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I know that when agents make a move, right, making a change is hardest at the best of time. There's no easy time to make a change in anyone's business. And I've been through a transition myself, but often I find with agents, when they make a move, that first kind of 3 to 6 month period is quite pivotal to things being delivered as promised or things being upheld. And I guess what it was made out to be, now that you're living it, is it all it's made out to be, and how are you finding it?
Look, I'm absolutely loving it, to be really honest with you. It's something that really fits in well with my family. Number one for me was making sure that I was present for my family, but still being able to bring in an income and support my family from that perspective. So it's really important for me to be a mother, but it's also important for me to be a working woman and contribute to my family, contribute to society, and use my gifts and talents that I've been given to, I guess, serve the community. So it was a very daunting experience for me. I think you'll remember when we had a chat one day with Beyon.
I remember our first meeting.
Yeah. And like, I still hadn't even made up my mind then. It was a pretty difficult decision. It's not like when you're younger and you can sort of, make quick decisions and off you go and jump in with a leap of faith. I really had to consider everything and consider my options. Yeah. So when I did it, I was really pleasantly surprised with the outcome. The fact that you can sort of tailor it to suit your lifestyle, the support, if you want to learn about any type of training, if you need any support, any help with anything, you can just log on, you can contact your colleagues, and you've got that support there that's instant, and you really tailor your life to suit you as a person and as a real estate agent. And I've found that in the past, it's never been like that. So for me, this suits me to a T.
You're spot on. A lot of that resonates to my core, absolutely, because one of the great things that I love about that core group we've got around us is everyone's their own unique and different lifestyle agent. Don't get me wrong, we've got some very young and ambitious team members that want to write some serious numbers. Yeah. And that's cool. Like, that's not for me and that's not for you. Like, we're very similar in the sense that, being there for school pickup or school drop off is more important than trying to list 15 homes for the month and transacting 10 of those 15 homes. So I think that's what I've really enjoyed, similar to yourself, is that it's a very flexible model that can adapt. Whether you want to be that $1 million performing and producing agent, great. Yes. You're going to keep more at the end of the day, being on 75 to 100% of what you're generating income wise. But then if there's mum and dads like you and I, we want to be better husbands, better wives, better parents. We want to be there at key moments in our children's lives. We've got that freedom and flexibility to do it. So I think that's a really great point.
Yeah. I like what you said there as well, because don't get me wrong, I absolutely want to be that top agent, doing really well in my community and serving my community. EXP allows you to do that. So I can be a mother, I can be a wife, I can be that family person. I can also be a top agent, and I can tailor my life to suit the hours that I need to do in order to be that person. So, instead of spending hours getting in the car, going to the office, spending extra time when I could be doing, work, essentially working from the cloud or working from home, huge time saver, and I get a lot more done in a short space of time.
So can I ask this question, right? Because I know your before XP life a little bit. So
Yeah.
you were in an office environment, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you had to go to and from an office. Cool.
Yes.
How was that? Like, how was that transition? Because I talk to a lot of agents. They're like, oh, I think that we need the office. Like, we need an office environment. Like, you're a female, good producing agent. You've got a great balance. How did you find that transition going from an office to at home being a mum, but also a producing agent?
Oh, I found it a breath of fresh air. I loved it. So obviously with petrol prices going up, you know, things like that. I found that I just was able to get more done. And then again, I was there for the school drop-offs. I was there for the school pickups. I've tailored my life so that my house, my kids go to school opposite. So essentially working from home is perfect for me because, I don't actually have to get in the car unless I've got an appointment or something like that. So I found it amazing, and productivity went up like 200%. And if I didn't need to, you know, put my full face on and get my work clothes on, if I was doing an administration day, I would literally be able to get 8 hours done and not even have to get out of my exercise clothes.
The Lorna Jane gear.
Productivity was amazing. And put a load of washing on and get dinner ready as well. All those things that I really couldn't do when I was working in an office, I couldn't. So I'd leave maybe by 5, 6 o'clock. My husband would have to get the kids. The kids were ratty when I got home. You know, if he hadn't prepared dinner, then what are we going to do for dinner? So, we
got no groceries. Oh, we got to go to the shops.
No groceries.
Oh, I hate that when that happens. Oh, the dreaded shop visit. I think that's a great thing, because I get that question a lot. Like, you know, a lot of agents have this mentality of needing the office environment, the water cooler conversations, as we call it, that structure. But I think, like, when you're very visionary as you are, entrepreneurial as you are, you know, you take control of your own time, and you're not trading time for dollars, you know, as such. You're trading dollars for time. And I think that's a great thing that this really empowers both female and male agents to do in our industry. And I think it's super cool. Like, you've got the ability where you can still put some good business together and focus on a quality of business. But if you need to do the washing or pick the kids up, I think that's a great thing. Let's talk a little bit about your business, because British & Co., like, you came from a property management background predominantly, and then you sort of moved into sales for a small period of time. But you've still got property management aspirations. Let's talk about the two sides of your business.
Cool. So property management is always my default, I suppose. So I've got really good skills in that, you know, nearly 20 years worth of experience in real estate and predominantly property management. So I started when I was 21, and I'm 40 now. I'm 41 now, so it's been 20 years. Oh my gosh. So I've always felt very comfortable and confident with property management, and I know that I can offer a very good service to my clients. So I like to have that as an all-encompassing real estate specialist, as opposed to just focusing on one sales field. I like to have that all-encompassing service. So I go, okay, guys, well, you know, what's your plans? What can I do to help you? Look, we're thinking we might rent it out, we might sell it. Well, look, let's do an appraisal for both. Let's see which way, you know, this takes us. And I can certainly help you with any part of that. So that's where my property management has evolved up until now. And I've found it really works well, especially for people that have known that I've been in the industry for a long time. They've got that trust in me that I can service their needs, you know, with either sales or property management.
I love that, because we're all time poor. Like, let's be honest, the world's a crazy and busy place right now. And I, as a consumer, you know, a dad, a husband, like, I don't have time for multiple meetings. And I guess that's where a typical sales agent would go in and maybe appraise the home, and then the client thinks, I'm going to rent it out. That's another referral to someone different. That's a different contact in the business. That's a different relationship. That's another meeting. Whereas you're like that one-stop shop. And I think that's a real added bonus here, is that EXP empowers you not only to transact from a listing and sales point of view. But if you're there in the moment and they say, oh, well, look, we might not sell Bridge. We might actually rent this out. Like, can you help us there? Bang. Yeah, I can. And I'm here right now, and I'm not going to refer you to externally. And you're my client. I'm going to deal with you from beginning to end. And then ultimately they become potentially a duplicate asset, because if they don't sell, they go into your portfolio, which is your asset. And then if they do sell, they're going to come back to you anyway, as they would with any property management business. Generally, they go to the property manager, and the first thing they do is refer it to someone external, a different foreign sales agent or consultant of that business. Whereas for you, it's like kid gloves. It's me beginning to end. Whatever direction you go, I can pivot to make it suit you. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, it is super cool. And you're nurturing and growing that relationship without even sort of doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got it on the rent roll, you're servicing them, you're making sure that the tenant's doing the right thing. Through that whole period of 12 months or 24 months, you're sort of nurturing that relationship. And when it comes time to sell, it's a no-brainer. They just go with you because you've built up that rapport with them.
Yeah. And I know, I know a lot of business owners, sorry to cut you off there, but
yeah, that's all right.
I know a lot of business owners, right? They have nothing to do with their rent roll. They don't want to, because generally they're listing and selling, chasing the commission, right? And I know business owners that when they used to get that call from a landlord, it's like, oh, do I really have to deal with them? Like, I just want to list and sell. Whereas you, though, you're invested in both departments because they're both your business entirely. You're not just focusing on the listing and sales and parking your rent roll externally foreign to somebody else. Like, I think that's a really important point. Because, as I said, I do know of business owners out there, unfortunately. It's not that they intentionally don't want to deal with landlords. It's just they're busy, right? They're tied up with trying to list and sell and deal with vendors. They're tied up with payroll and admin and managing staff. And it's just, there's not enough time to wear all of those hats. Whereas you're just wearing two hats. You're either selling through me or I'm managing your needs as a landlord.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, yeah. And I love it. That part of the business, I love relationships, building and growing and nurturing relationships. I love getting to know people. That's what I specialize in. So that for me was a natural sort of progression to do the sales with EXP, as well as my Bridge & Co property management. Yeah. So they're sort of combined together.
Good on you. Yeah. Good on you. And the branding is super sexy, as we've mentioned previously. It's really classy, which
it's pretty nice, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And predominantly your marketplace, like where do you predominantly sell and property management? What's your main areas of focus?
Yes. So I specialize in selling around the Kensington area because I live here, my community's here, and I am involved and serve the community within the sort of east.
Yep.
My kids go to school here. I got married here. I went to school here.
Yep.
So it just feels natural and right to do that. I also grew up in sort of northeast. So I've got a lot of history and a lot of friends in that area as well. So I do focus my property management and my sales in the northeast, predominantly sort of Ross Trevor area and also Valley View. So it's 2022, and we can certainly service people across all aspects of sales, or all areas rather, because of the tech support that we have. I guess with EXP we can really sell anywhere, but it's nice to be able to sell and live in the same location, that kind of thing, if you get my drift.
Oh, absolutely. You're very deeply entrenched. You've got deep grassroots to your area. I was the same. I'm the same in my core area. And look, I think there's agents out there, they do spread them out geographically all across the state. And I think if that's your choice, that's cool. I didn't opt to. I had a lot of business locally anyway. And just the travel time, trying to service clients at a distance versus locally. So I think you got to make that call as an agent, depending on where your inventory levels are at and where you want to invest your time. But that's super cool. So, so Bridge, when you were looking to move to EXP, what would you say your most common fear was that, was shadowing your decision to go in and back yourself and make a move? What were your fears?
I was just petrified that I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was really worried that if I went out on my own, I was going to be on my own and have no support. And I really just was scared of failure. I didn't want to fail. I had to sort of I didn't want people to go, see, she couldn't do it, I told her, sort of thing. So that was my biggest fear. And I was definitely surprised and happy that I ended up succeeding and pushed myself, beyond what I believed was capable. So yeah, that was probably the main one.
Yeah, that's a great point. And look, I had those same fears before I made a change too. I think as humans, we don't want to let down other people more so than ourselves.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And the thing I don't like about our culture here in Australia is, I have a lot of involvement and engagement with the US, right? Where our model originated from. And in Australia, we have this really small poppy syndrome, like do well, just don't do better than me. Whereas in America, it's the opposite. They all want you to exceed and do better than the person next to you.
Yeah.
And I think that flavor has really flowed on from where EXP originated from to now globally. That's our mentality.
Yeah, it is.
Like I get more satisfaction out of seeing people like yourself and other members in our team and hearing about your wins.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's not a matter of if you're writing $1 million or 200,000 or 150,000. Like everyone's wins are different, but there's always that scarcity of failure. But the reality is in our industry, and this is the entrepreneurial mindset, is whatever you're doing now, wherever you go, you're going to likely do the same because you're a business within a business model anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The difference is as what support you get, what your splits look like, and that's really the only difference. So that's cool to know that you had that fear. So now that you've come on board, do you have any fear? Like we're 6-7 months in, are you still fearful of failure or?
Absolutely not, because there's so many different options. If you put yourself out there's so many different options and ways to do things, and you just do what suits you as a person and as a business person. The other thing that was really surprising for me, I was always scared to ask people for help because you kind of think in this industry, everyone always expects something. If I help you on this, well, you've got to give me X amount of dollars or whatever. So I wasn't scared of paying them any money, but I almost felt guilty. Like I don't really want to ask you to do something for me with no expectation kind of thing. Oh my gosh, the guys in the team, I have never ever worked anywhere where they've been so supportive, have not expected anything from you, just want you to succeed. Like you said to me before, Chris, you just want to see, your team members, your colleagues succeed and do well. That gives you a certain type of satisfaction, I suppose.
Yeah.
Different aspects like social media, just open inspections, ideas on how to negotiate, all that kind of stuff. It's freely offered and nothing is expected in return. And I think that's so beautiful. I'm sort of like a heart agent where I believe in all of that stuff. And to be in a company that has the same morals and values and ethos that I share, which is quite rare in real estate, I feel as well. It's just beautiful. I love it. And I love all you guys. You're just different and really special. And
we are different. We are a little bit left-centered, but I love that the morals and ethos, are definitely aligned. And, I think the difference between an office environment to here is, like, let's be honest, we're self-sufficient, right? So whether I choose to help somebody like yourself or not today and tomorrow is not going to affect my life, right? Because my business is my business. But if I can help you grow, obviously, and then we bring on other like-minded to our tribe, we all grow together.
Yeah.
Whereas in an office environment, typically, it's very much like, this is my business. Don't come near me. Don't distract me. Don't talk to me. I'm very protective. I'm very secretive. It's kind of each for their own.
Yeah.
Because you're all fighting kind of for the same business to some degree in that same environment. And, I think you do need to be independent and self-sufficient in our model. Absolutely. But that's where you create this pure culture of genuine helping, a willingness to genuinely help others, because I'm not reliant on anybody else but myself. But I could be a nasty person and choose not to help people, and I'm probably not going to grow this thing. But if I just choose to help people, my business is going to take care of itself regardless. But if I just choose to help people with authenticity, then I think the universe opens up and delivers some beautiful things to you, and gems like people like you that walk into our lives and our world who we love being around.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, 100% agree. It's a beautiful culture and something that I've never experienced before. And I'm just really pleased that it's all worked out. And yeah, and the thing is, we all catch up. We all do catch up. We plan to catch up, and we catch up together as a team because we want to be there. So if you can't make it one day, whatever, that's fine. But we still all congregate. We have our Facebook chats, and we have our catch ups at the pub or the park or whatever, and we have a lot of fun. It's just a different way of doing things, and it just works better, I think, in this day and age, especially with COVID and the way things are going, with office space and being able to work from home and stuff like that. This is just so much more productive, and you just make it who you are as a person. You just make your business about you and what you want to do. And I think if you've got the right heart, then this is a perfect business for anyone that sort of wants to create something very special. And
I really like that point you mentioned about catching up as family, friends, the pub, whatever, park, because one of the challenges I used to have in my former environment is it was always quarterly awards or award shows, and it always was just big piss ups, right? And I used to try and say, well, we're getting to an age now, we've got kids, why don't we bring our families together and collaborate? Let's do a picnic in the park, and we'll hire a jumping cart, and we'll have a big sausage sizzle. We don't want our family there. We want to let our hair loose. And I was like, I was really struggling with that, because I wanted, because you work with people in an office environment so much, like 70% of your life is with those people. Well, I would want my kids to know your kids, and I would want our wives to know each other, because we might be doing this for 10 years, 15, 20 years.
100%.
And I don't want to look back and go, well, we had a 30-year relationship, but we don't know anything about our kids. We don't know anything about each other's wives, and we never hung out together. And that's fine if you don't go to work for that. But I think that's a really important piece here, is that when we get together, sure, we have a good time. We'll have beers and we'll go to the pub, but we do family stuff together. We get the kids, we get the wives together. I mean, Mel's built some beautiful friendships within EXP with girls, wives of, agents who operate within our network. That, to me, is as valuable as a commission split, because my wife's now involved in our team. She feels a part of it, which is a part of me and my business.
We all love Mel. She's a beautiful girl.
I'll let her know that. I'll make sure that we'll just fast forward to this section of the recording so she can watch it and hear that. But
and I think it takes away, sorry to cut you off there, Chris, but it just takes away, we are different and we do things differently. It just takes away from that stereotypical whole thing about real estate agents. They go out and they get drunk and they do all this kind of stuff, and they never spend time with their families. And this just smashes all of that, because that's not how we do things. It's more about the family. It's more about just being real and honest and true, and doing a really good job at what we do as agents, but also incorporating, that family life and that just nice stuff,
I would take on someone in my team like yourself every day of the week who's a mum, a dad, and they're not $1 million producer over somebody who has an ego. Confidence is one thing. I think you got to have confidence in this game, absolutely.
Yes, of course.
But confidence needs to come below ego. And I just don't want anyone on my team that's got an ego, even if you're $1 million performer. Like that's not who I want to surround myself with. And I have that control who I accept into my team. I can say yes, I can say no. Whereas in an office environment, there's a lot of big hairy gorillas in offices that write big numbers, but they're the biggest problems. They're the biggest cancers. They're the biggest influences of toxicity. But because they write the business, that's why they're that big gorilla. Whereas for me, it's like, well, you don't really make me any revenue. You can come into my circle of influence if you've got the right mentality and ethos and, morals, as you said. But I think that's a real challenge in the industry. We get choice here to surround ourselves who we want to be surrounded with now. We have that choice. Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah.
Which is a powerful thing. If someone's watching this, let's say there's a mum, she's watching this right now. She might be in an agency, a brand or a network. She's feeling a bit tired and burnt out. She's maybe looking at her group certificate. The numbers aren't stacking up. She might be feeling that her self-value isn't where she would like it to be in life right now. Maybe some of the similar pain points you had before you made a decision as to why to switch. What would be your advice to that person tuning in right now if they're on the fence? Which way do I go in life?
I would love to have a chat with anyone that's been thinking that they want to do something a little bit different.
Yep.
It really works for me as a person, as a female in real estate. And I think people get complacent, they get comfortable, and they get that fear, which is where I was, that they can't make a change because what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't happen?
Yeah.
I am an exact example of that working in every way possible. My family life is happier. Financially, I'm far better off. I have more time to do things. Never in my wildest dreams have I thought that aligning a real estate agent and a property manager means having more time. Yeah. This model gives us that time. I'm like, my friends are calling me, do you want to come for a coffee? Now, I've never been able to actually go and catch up with my friends without checking my phone 20 times, stressing out because there's a problem.
Yeah.
I can actually do that
or feeling guilty or feeling guilty or
going, oh my gosh, there's a hot water system that's blown up, or I've got to go and get, a building inspector in through this property. None of that happens anymore because you've actually got more time, and that is immeasurable for me. Like, that's priceless. And it allows you to obviously make more money as well. So please reach out if you've ever been thinking about making a move, you're too scared, or you just want to hear a little bit more about it, confidential chat, all of that. I would love to catch up with you now that I've got time to come out and spend, have a coffee or whatever.
I love it. Yeah. I love it, Queen. Time is an irreplaceable commodity.
It is.
We've all got an expiry date on this beautiful planet known as Earth. And I love, you've just got a heart of gold, because the first thing you mentioned there is family before being better off financially. Whereas most agents flip that around. And many of them don't have family because it's all about financially first. So good on you, mate. You're got a heart of gold. You're a good egg. You're a really good egg. And we love having you on our side and our team. We're super blessed that you chose us. So thank you. If you've got any questions about EXP, please reach out to Brigitte. Or even if you just want to chat, like seriously, you don't even need to look at joining. If you just want to see what her world looked like before and now, I'm sure she'd only put some time aside to make that catch up happen. Brigitte, thank you so much for your time and joining us on this Walk the Talk episode. And ladies and gentlemen, until the next episode, it's bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.